morning. This is your weekly update with Jim Stewart. I'm the Chief Investment Officer here at Worth Asset Management. Today is August 14, 2023, and I'm going to go over your three threes for the week. First, I'm going to go over the top 10 major asset classes, their performance, and how we're positioned moving forward. Then I'm going to take a look at a chart of the S&P 500 and look where we're at on the support and resistance zones. Then I'm going to look at the top 3 market movers for the week. So let's jump on in.
Okay, let's go over the top 3 market headlines from last week. The Dow Jones edged out a slim gain for the week, while the S&P, NASDAQ, International Market, Gold, and the aggregate bond all registered losses. This week also featured some sessions with below average volume, likely related to the summer slowdowns, which is very typical this time of year. There were also several news catalysts that investors used to take money off the table this week. The biggest one coming late Monday with Moody's cutting the credit ratings of 10 small to mid-sized U.S. banks, and also said it may downgrade some of the nation's biggest lenders, which included Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Bank Corp, State Street, and Truist Financial, on review for potential downgrades. And a lot of this was a big warning to the bank's sector credit strength, which likely will be tested by 2 things: funding risks and weaker profitability, a lot of that coming from the weakness in commercial real estate. So as you can see from the chart, it started late Monday and then carried all the way through the week. We also got some U.S. economic data that was kind of mixed towards the end of the week on Thursday and Friday, as the CPI and core CPI were both in line with consensus estimates, while July's PPI was hotter than expected at the headline level, but it really wasn't that bad after accounting for a downward revision for June. All right, let's go over now the top 10 major asset classes, their performance and positioning. And for the week, there were no changes. On a short-term basis, we are still bullish on the US dollar and commodities, while we remain bearish on bonds, the equities, and real estate and gold. Zooming out on an intermediate term basis, we still are bearish on bonds and gold, while we remain bullish on the dollar, equities, real estate, and commodities. All right, let's look at the positioning of the S&P 500. And as you can see, we started adding back to the equity markets at the end of March, and it's been a nice run. But let's take a look at the support and resistance zones. We tapped the top end of this resistance zone at the 4,600 level, and since then, in the last couple weeks, we have started to trend downward, and now we're testing the bottom of this resistance zone. So as we go through the tail end of earnings, we shall see if that holds and we trade in here and then break out, or if we break out and test this last resistance zone and see if it's now support. So keep a close eye on that. All right, let's go over the top 3 market movers for this week. On Tuesday, we have retail sales, and they are likely to have risen 0.4 last month, which would mark the 4th consecutive month of gains. And we're looking to have risen just 1% year over year, which would mark the slowest annual growth rate since the pandemic-related declines of the early 2020s. On Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting minutes, and that will be the minutes from the July 25th, 26th meeting, where they raised interest rates by another quarter basis points, and that was the 11th and maybe the last time we'll see in this current tightening cycle. Right now, the futures for the next meeting are about 90% chance that they are not going to raise. They are going to probably stand still and do nothing at the next meeting. The number 3 is earnings. This week could be one of the last busy weeks of the earnings season, with reports from Cisco, Applied Materials, Palo Alto Networks, and then we also get the major retailers, including Walmart, Home Depot, TJX, Ross Stores, and Target, to wrap out this week's earnings. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Our next update is Monday, August 21st. As always, continue to subscribe, like, and follow, and we shall see you next week. Have a great week trading.